Have you ever wished you had an extra pair of hands for your business? You know, an assistant who works around the clock, never forgets to follow up, and helps you build amazing customer relationships, all on autopilot? Well, that's not some far-off dream. That's marketing automation. So let's dive in and see how you can get your very own 24/7 marketing assistant. All right, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about the big problem that automation actually solves. Then, we'll define what it really is. We'll get into why it's a total game changer, peek under the hood at its surprisingly simple engine, and then wrap up with some really powerful real-world examples.
So first things first, let's talk about a wall that every growing business eventually hits. It's the scaling problem. You know, it's that point where the personal touch that made you so successful in the first place suddenly becomes almost impossible to keep up with. Does this feel familiar? Business is picking up, you're getting more leads, more customers, which is awesome, right? But you've got this nagging feeling that you just can't give every single person the attention they deserve anymore, and little things start to slip through the cracks. Okay, here's a perfect example. Think about a real estate agent. When you're just starting out, you can meet every client, remember their kids' names, send personalized follow-ups. But what happens when your client list doubles, then triples? That one-on-one approach, well, it just doesn't scale. You simply run out of hours in the day.
And this really gets to the heart of it. Manual marketing is fantastic, it's high touch, but it has a really low ceiling for growth because the time investment is just huge. Automated marketing, on the other hand, is built to scale right from the get-go.
So, if doing everything by hand is the problem, what's the solution? Well, this brings us to the main event. What is marketing automation anyway?
At its core, it's actually really simple. It's just software that's designed to take over your most repetitive tasks. It's not about replacing you or your team, it's about freeing you up by handling all the routine stuff that eats up so much of your valuable time.
So, what kind of tasks are we talking about here? Well, think about automatically sending a welcome email the second someone signs up, or gently nurturing new leads with helpful content over a few weeks, or even automatically reaching out to people who've gone quiet. These are the perfect jobs to hand off to your automation software.
Okay, so we know what it is and what it does. But why should you care? Let's get to the good part, the payoff, and see why this is such a massive game changer for businesses.
And the data on this is crystal clear. When marketers are asked about the biggest benefits, they point to the same three things over and over again: saving time, generating more leads, and, you guessed it, increasing revenue. So this isn't just about making life easier, it's about getting real, measurable business results. Let's start with time, because it's a big one. When you delegate all those repetitive, time-sucking processes to your software, you and your team are suddenly free. You can finally focus your brain power on the creative, strategic, high-impact stuff that really moves the needle, the things a human brain is best at.
It also makes you so much smarter with your time. Imagine your sales team only talking to the hottest, most promising leads. Automation makes that possible. It can track who's clicking what, who's visiting which pages, and then automatically tag them as being interested. It makes sure the right conversations are happening with the right people at the perfect time. All right, I know this all sounds great, but you're probably wondering, how does this actually work? Is it super complicated? I promise you, it's not. The core idea is incredibly simple. So let's step into the engine room. This, right here, this is the entire secret. Everything in marketing automation boils down to this one simple, powerful piece of logic. If this happens, then do that. Seriously, every single automated workflow, no matter how fancy it looks on the outside, is built on this foundation. If a person joins my email list, then send them my welcome email. If a customer puts something in their cart but doesn't buy, then send them a little reminder. It's that straightforward.
When you build one of these things, you're just playing with three simple building blocks. First is the condition. That's your if, the trigger event. Second, you can add a filter, like say, only for people who live in Canada. And third is the action. That's your then, the task you want to happen. That's it. That's the whole recipe.
Okay, enough theory. That's how it works behind the scenes. Now let's see how this comes to life with some incredibly powerful, practical things you could literally set up today.
So, our first example is an absolute must-have for anyone selling online: the cart abandonment email. We've all done it, right? You fill up a shopping cart, get distracted by a cat video, and completely forget about it. This simple little workflow is designed to win those almost sales back.
And here's why that's so important. The average cart abandonment rate is, wait for it, 69.57%. That is almost 7 out of every 10 shoppers. A simple automated reminder can bring back a huge chunk of that lost revenue. It's like finding money in your couch cushions.
Next up, the welcome email. Honestly, if you do absolutely nothing else with automations, do this. It is often the single most effective, most opened, most clicked email you will ever send. It's your digital handshake, your first impression, and your best chance to deliver value right away.
Don't believe me? The numbers are just wild. Welcome emails have an average open rate of over 80%. That is 4 times higher than a regular newsletter. People are literally waiting for it to arrive. It's a massive, can't-miss opportunity.
And finally, let's look at something a little more creative, an automated email course. You can take all your amazing knowledge, package it into a series of lessons, and have it delivered automatically over a few days or weeks. It's an incredible way to provide huge value, build deep trust, and nurture a relationship, all while you're off doing other things.
So when you put it all together, you see that marketing automation isn't some cold, faceless robot. It really is your tireless assistant. It's that extra pair of hands working for you 24/7, making absolutely sure that no customer, no lead, no opportunity ever slips through the cracks again.
And that brings us to the final thought for today. You've seen how powerful and, more importantly, how accessible this tool can be. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. In your own business, in your own project, what's the very first repetitive task you could automate to save yourself some time and amplify your impact?